Well, guess what? This is Zombiepalooza Radio Live, and we're in our 4th year. So I have no idea who's going to show up tonight. Usually I have everything all sectioned out and wonderful like that, but this evening we're doing things just a little bit different. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to be bringing on some people that have been on the show in the past, and we're going to talk a little bit about their experiences and what they think about the way the show is and what their experiences have been with being on. So I'm going to go and add a bunch of people. I have the link I'm going to send out, and so I'm going to do that. I'm looking for my dead door. I have no idea where the heck he went to. I talked with him about 20 minutes ago. So I'm hoping that something bad hasn't happened. I get people to click on the link. Let's see, who else do I have here? And I have that, okay. Let's see what happens. It's always an interesting time when I have things by myself and I'm trying to get them moving and operational. Let's see how many people I can pull in. Let's see. There. And all right. Well, this is going to be a really boring 4th anniversary if I'm just sitting here by myself talking to the wind. Hi, welcome, everyone. I'm trying to bring on some people to the show. I have no idea where my co-host is, and I was just talking with them, so I'm thinking they probably have Wi-Fi issues or something. Yep. Fun times, fun times. All right, so if I gave you a link, go ahead and just click on it. And we'll see who we can bring in. So far, I don't have anybody. Whoops. Well, that could be part of the problem. How about actually copying the link for the room and sending it to him? I think that might help. I'm a little nervous, you can tell. Go ahead and click on the link. Please. Woohoo! All right, let's try this again. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Yep, still me sitting here talking to myself. Hi, everyone that's tuned in. Appreciate you coming in to watch. I don't know exactly what the heck we're going to have tonight, but I'll try to get at least a few people on. And we're going to probably do this for about an hour or so. Let's see, where am I at? I'm over here sending links to the to the website for the YouTube show itself, and not for the room to get linked into it. So that's part of the confusion. And if anybody out there sees my dead door, I really would like him to be found. I don't know what we're gonna do with this. I think probably I had the better idea to just hi. All right, that's kind of like a weird sound. Well, hello, how are you? We have William Todd Rose here, and as soon as he gets his audio and all of that fixed, go ahead and unmute yourself. You have go up to the top of the screen and you'll hit the microphone to unmute yourself. Maybe, or maybe not. Well, hello. There you go. William Todd Rose. Hi. All right. So it's best to do. Go ahead and unmute yourself. This is really on a delayed thing. All right. So William, you're probably going to have to back out and come back in again, because I've got a lot of. Can
you hear me now?
Feedback from you. Yeah, I can hear you. But the thing is that you need to have a headset on with an attached mic or something, because it's not coming in clearly. All right, so William, you're probably going to have to back out and come back in again. And if you have the YouTube, if the YouTube channel is on, I need you to turn the YouTube channel off and just be on this one, because if you have YouTube playing at the same time, I'm going to get a lot of in my ear. Well, hello, how are you?
I think you're talking to me.
I think I'm talking to you, Mr. Rick Danford. How you been?
I've been pretty good. How you doing?
I don't know. I'm just kind of, we're sitting here just, having a little chat. I have no idea where Dead Door is. I was talking to him about 20 minutes ago. No idea. Oh, wow. All right. So here's the deal. Give me a second. The show link for people to listen to is Zombiepalooza Radio Live on YouTube. I already put the link out there, and that's where they can click on it to be able to listen to the show. I appreciate anybody who actually tried to help me put this thing together, but I don't appreciate getting yelled at either. And this isn't you, Rick. So, but I don't appreciate getting yelled at either. You know what? We have Rick Danford here, and I'm not going to waste another minute on stuff that makes my head go, what? How you been?
I've been pretty good. Are we just on the radio, so to speak, or do you have video, or what's going on?
Oh, we're on YouTube Live.
Nice. Great.
So everybody can see. I think this is your first time being on a setup like this.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, because we had you a number of times on live stream, and the live stream only has the ability to just have the camera on me and not on you too.
Right.
So one of the things that we did was we switched it up and went from there over to the YouTube. And the YouTube channel, it's a little bit, it's more work for people to do. You have to, because of the way also that YouTube has this thing set up now, for me to be able to put a live event in and just schedule it for right there and now, I can still use Google Hangouts, which is part of the reason why you have to add my Google plus pages to your, the circles, and do all that stuff. But for the most part, most people get it, and it's not a big deal. for people that just want to listen into the show itself, all they have to do is go to Zombiepalooza Radio Live on YouTube, and they can click right into it and listen to it. Also, you can click on it on the link that I give in the Facebook page, and you just click on it, and there you go. When it's live, you can check it out that way. So there are a couple of different things that we've done. Well, do you remember the first time you ever came onto the show?
Oh, wow. I don't remember exactly the first time because there's been quite a few times, but no, I don't really remember. No, it's been a while.
What kinds of tell people what kinds of things that you actually do for the creative side of things?
Well, I am a writer, director, producer, mostly in the horror genre. I started out basically, I guess my first major project was a feature film called The Web of Darkness, which was a vampire film that starred the great Tom Savini and Brinke Stevens, and we shot it here in Tampa. It's currently out on DVD right now. My most recent project is kind of like a Goosebumps type short film with kids called The Book of Nightmares, and that's actually out on the internet right now. You can go to www.thebookofnightmares.com, and you can see the short film itself. You can see a music video that we put together with my band that I'm also managing called American Noir. And I am getting ready to go into production now with a very super special short film called The Lost, which is not a horror film, but it's more of a dramatic thriller. And we're planning to film that in January. And the last thing I guess to speak about is we're actually doing my Halloween Horror Picture Show on October 29th and 30th, and it's going to be at MegaCon in Tampa, which is huge. We've got a full room for the full days, and we're going to have Krista Grotti and some other special guests. We're going to have a Satan's Children reunion and screen the movie, and we're going to have cast and crew there and a whole bunch of stuff. So make sure you go to megacontampabay.com, and you can look at the lineup we've got, and very excited. Good stuff. Lots of stuff.
All right, good stuff. What is one of the things about Zombiepalooza Radio Live that is uniquely different from other podcasts or other places to go for indie information?
I guess probably the thing that jumps out at me the most is that you try to get a lot of different people from a lot of different aspects of the horror genre, whether it be filmmakers, whether it be writers, whether it be special effects people, like we had Tom Savini on here, we had R.J. Smith on here, horror author. So you try to get a lot of different aspects of the horror genre. You don't just do films, you also do a lot of indie stuff with short films and festivals and stuff like that. So to me, you're like the total package for horror entertainment, if you ask me.
Thank you. What are some of the things that you've discussed in the past regarding your work, or some of the things that you've heard other people talk about that you found of interest?
Some of the things we've discussed in the past have been definitely some of my movies, whether they're upcoming or whether they're movies that we've already shot and done and that are currently out there available for people. We've talked about that. I've brought on a couple of different actors and some behind-the-scenes people that we've gone over special effects. Like I said, I brought on Tom Savini and we talked makeup effects. I brought on a couple of other of my horror filmmaker friends that have been part of my Halloween Horror Picture Show. And you, as a matter of fact, you did a special show just before my Halloween Horror Picture Show where you actually talked to a bunch of the different filmmakers that had projects showing there, and bring a lot of light to some of the different things that we've got going on in the horror genre, like such as the festivals and the films and the conventions and such as that, and make sure that everybody knows what's going on and where.
Let's see. Yeah, all right. So I'm trying to do 50 million things at once, plus also trying to track down my dead door. My husband is here. Holy crap. Check it out. Now listen, people, if my husband can get on this thing and click a link and do all of that, then anybody on the planet can do this. Okay?
Wow.
It's just that way. Now, I don't know if you've ever met him before, Rick, have you?
I think I've talked to him on the radio before, but we've never done the whole video thing stuff.
I know. Oh my God, there's one other person I have to go get. Kenneth here is the reason why Zombiepalooza Radio has started to begin with. And so for those people who are really appreciating being able to have their works on a show like this, they really, really need to say thank you to him, because he was the inspiration for this show to begin with. And I know he's at work and he only has a little bit of time. So go ahead and tell him what you do and who you are and a little bit about this show. And you're an author too, so go ahead and talk about that. I got to go get somebody. Be right back.
Well, I write under the name K.R. Chen, and I'm currently working on my fourth book, short stories about the zombie apocalypse. And the series is called Survivors of the Apocalypse. And, well, believe it or not, I actually have a bunch of fans here in the St. Paul area, which absolutely took me by surprise. And it's been interesting. I'm not used to having people come up to me and say, "Are you that guy?" And excuse me, what? Are you that guy? And which guy exactly? And then finally we get out, did you write this book? Well, yes. And it's very, very different kind of thing. And all those years back when you and Sam and the guys
It's all right. Just go ahead. Go on with your bad self. I'm trying to bring somebody in that is absolutely dying to talk to you.
it's something that we never thought would have happened. It's very, it's a very unique experience for me because I'm not used to being out in front for anything.
Talk a little.
I can take a fall. I've taken a 4-story fall, free fall, down
Off a
into
roof.
and no equipment. Not a problem. I fell off a 2nd-story roof once and hit the ground without even the padding. That was not planned. It was a little rough, but still no problem.
Yeah, into a snowbank, by the way, which was the snowbank, I think, was about 4 foot. And how big of a hole did you make?
It was crusted over with about 6 inches of ice.
Yeah. There was that too. Yeah, the ice layer before. All right, so enough talking about your falling off roofs and stuff. Talk a little bit about your ability to write zombie apocalypse and what this show has done for you as far as making you feel more grounded.
Well, I when I write the zombie apocalypse stories that I do, I bring my experience from working law enforcement security, my career in the military, all of that stuff gets brought together and put in there. I also try to make sure that the science is good. I've got wildlife biology experts and a couple of genetics experts that help me with this kind of thing. But they tell me that I don't actually need that much help, that I'm scary smart. Well, I don't know about that. I'm just a little tracker. This is still uncomfortable. But got this whole thing together to begin with, to get me to talk, physically speak to the guys that they didn't want me to quit after I had a wolf hybrid turn on me, and the first time ever in my life I ever had that problem. But the dog was scared. I still can't find it to be mad at the dog. But, yeah, that happened, and
Yeah, that was
the whole lot of people
pretty
worried about me. So this got started.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that was back in, I think, 2012, some such. I think we got somebody else coming on. It's Scott! It's Scott Thomas! I have been trying to get this man on for you to talk to you. Check him out. Look at that, like the first show.
The infamous non-practical.
Yes.
Yeah, what's up? Hey, Chen.
Oh! I surprised you. Ha
You guys,
ha.
this is awesome.
The very first time we brought everybody onto the show, we had Samuel Garcia from Dead Air, author, and we had Scott Thomas, who's an author. What's the name of your book, Scott?
Zombie apocalypse preparation: how to have fun in an undead world, or how to survive in an undead world and have fun doing it.
It's awesome. I love that book. You made me smile so big when you said yes that you wanted to come on, and that was 4 years ago. We were on a network called Z Talk Radio, and it was just all audio. What did you think about that first experience and actually getting to talk with Ken?
Oh, well, we knew Ken for a long time before we got on the show, and then, well, yeah, your show was what, like an hour back then?
It was like 2 hours when we first initially did it. It was 2 hours.
Yeah, it's been a long time. And I'm always either at work or someplace else when I'm having to do the show.
So I'm like thrilled that we were able to get you on. So go ahead and talk, you guys. You got a couple of minutes before Chin has to go back to work. Go ahead.
Yeah, just about exactly 2 minutes. Scott is an awesome author. I got to say that right up front. I liked his book so much when I looked through it, I actually made it the centerpiece of one of the stories that I read.
That's right, I remember.
I wasn't going to do it without you knowing about it, bud.
Yeah, that book, that's been 5 years since we finished that book. Wow.
Yeah, it's about to make another appearance in another story.
Awesome. Yeah, we just re-released it, the extended, uncut version, in April. We re-released it. So it's actually available in bookstores, which is amazing. We've seen success with it that we didn't see before because it's now in bookstores.
What bookstores is it in?
Barnes and Noble, at Walmart's. It's pretty much anywhere a Simon & Schuster book is available, you can find our book.
Outstanding.
I know, right? Very cool. So we're trying to get Chin's books, Survivors of the Apocalypse. He has 3 books that are out currently and 1 that he's working on. So we have a book 4. When do you think you might be sending that out to the masses?
I've got one more story to finish, and then I've got the first couple of rewrites that I'll go over with a fine-tooth comb and see what I can catch, and then that one will go out. I've got a surprise. The cover this time is going to be a little bit different than the others, but I also have the first book of the series. I've been picked up by a small publisher, and they're going to be seeing about getting that out as soon as I finish these rewrites.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, I thought that editing my own stuff was bad enough, but doing rewrites with somebody else's instructions, although the editor I'm working with, she's great. But the whole process, pulling teeth slowly with no anesthesia. Sometimes you have to take directions that you didn't really anticipate. Other times you have to sit there and crank your head going, oh my God, I know this will work, but how do I make it do it?
Very cool. All right. So we've got, let's see, who else can I get in there? I'm going to see if I can bring in Doug Coffin. So you get
back inside.
I know. So hurry up and tell Scott what you think of him. I mean, really think of him.
You're a great guy, and one of these days you and I got to sit down and crack a seal on a bottle of Jameson's. And
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. Too bad there's like 4,000 miles between us.
I've got a feeling that if things go the way they're supposed to, that might not be as big an obstacle as you think.
I know. He's working on something that's really deep, and we can't talk about any of that because that's actually classified. So, just send out prayers. Absolutely.
Your front door, and I will have a bottle of Jameson's in my left hand and be knocking on with the right.
Awesome.
And some toys for your son. Woohoo! All right, I gotta send Kenneth back to work. So thank you for coming on. We'll see you in a number of hours.
We'll talk to you later, Ken.
All right, Scott. You guys take care.
All right.
Come here, baby.
Bye-bye. Woohoo. All right. So, wow. Talk to me about the experience that you had and how it's different from when you were just on audio to now being able to see a visual.
Well, the visual is, I'm still not used to it, and you're on a tiny little screen on the phone right now. So, because I haven't had an actual computer in the house for 4 years now. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, I got an iPad, and I do all my writing on my iPads now. So
do we got any good stuff that's going to be coming out of Scott Thomas anytime soon?
There's a lot of stuff in the works, but nothing that's got any plans for the future right now. So I'm working on a bunch of little things that I've had in my brain for a while, and I'm trying to get the partner to jump in and join.
Oh,
so.
Very cool. All right. So, what kind of things can we find in your book?
Well, when we wrote the first one, when we first set out to write it, everybody and their dog has written a survival manual, but nobody's ever written it from a comedic point of view. So you'll find all of the standard, how to survive, but you find it with a sense of humor that nobody else has ever seen. We're sick and twisted, and there's no lies about that. So we just set out to make it as fun as possible. It's kind of like, remember the old Fat Albert show? You're gonna have a good time, and you just might learn something too. So
I like that. We got a lot of creative people that we brought on through the years, and there are some that like to add that comic bent to their work, and I find that very enjoyable because, I mean, the stuff that we talk about is kind of serious, It helps to have a little bit of humor mixed in with it so that we can learn something at a more relaxed kind of pace.
Yeah, I mean, anybody can survive, but you got to live through the survival. So you got to have fun while you're doing it, which is the main focus. It's just surviving is just that. Anybody can survive. You got to have fun doing it.
How does writing help you be able to stay in the moment?
My writing's actually more about exercising the demons that are in my head. Once I get it out and onto paper, I don't have to stress it anymore. It's no longer there. So, but like with the new version of the old book, there was a bunch of stuff that we had written for a second book that we decided was better for just to expand the first one. And now we both feel that we finished the book. We didn't feel like it was finished before.
Cool. And then are you going to write another project after?
Well, yeah, I'm actually branching into storytelling now versus, technical manuals. I've got several stories that are in various stages of completion because I have an attention span like a kitten. So I'll write, 20 pages on one story and then be like, ooh, I want to write this one. And then I'll write another story and I'll get about 30 pages into it. And I'll be like, oh, and I'll write another story. So I never quite finish the stories. I mean, they're all variously, you know, they've started, they're in the middle someplace. Something's happening. It's just, I need somebody to keep me on track. And that's what the writing partner's always done. He's the one that keeps me honed in on finishing something. So
have you ever thought about taking any of your works and seeing them on the big screen?
no, I had one story that I wrote as a teleplay versus a book, and that's not my style. I can't do something like that. If somebody else sees this demented stuff I write and they want to turn it into something big, that'd be fine. But I don't write to get out there. I write just to clear my mind.
Some of the people that were trying to get in earlier, they need to probably completely reboot and see if that helps, because it's the way the system that I have it now. Before, like when I brought you guys on 4 years ago, all we had to do was worry whether or not we could get the server to work and click into it like that. But yeah, Doug, just go and click out of it and come back in. This is going to be a really short little show. I'm probably just going to close it out at 10, especially since I can't find where my co-host got to. I hope that he is okay. He was a little while ago. So for this one now, when we bring people on, to be able to actually be seen on the screen itself, you have to go through adding me to your Google Plus page, which is pretty simple. You just go to google.com and look up at the top right of the screen. You'll have notifications there of somebody trying to join your circle and all that. And you just add that. I send usually 2 links to make sure that either one can get into the show itself. And there's no call-in number or anything like that. One of the things that I kind of sort of miss about this is that there used to have a call-in where you just send out a number and say, okay, this is the number you call, and you come on in. But since everything now is pretty much digital, you have to be linked into it. For those who are just watching, just regular, it's Zombiepalooza Radio Live on YouTube. You just go to that channel, click on it, and should be able to see everything that's going on. I know that there is a chat room for the YouTube channel now, that since YouTube has changed a couple of things on the 12th of last month of how we can do, bring on people and all of that. In their way to be able to fix it, I think they kind of screwed some stuff up. But we do have the ability for the people that have a chat as well. All right, so, gosh, Maynard, what kinds of things do you pull from when you go and you start writing a piece for your book? How do you do that?
Well, we pull from every great source of comedy, everything. We were influenced by Mel Brooks, by Monty Python, by Weird Al Yankovic. Pretty much, if it's humor, I mean, Kevin Smith, every bit of humor that's ever been on TV, radio, or in print, we have been, you know, that's been us. And then we're both we've spent a great deal of time learning. So it's basically just experiences and everything we find funny, which pretty much everything. We find everything funny. There isn't anything that isn't funny.
All right.
So,
I think I found my co-host, whom I've been looking for. So hopefully he can click on that, and we'll see if we can get him on. I think you'll like this. This will be good. If I can get him to where he's supposed to be. He's a zombie. He kind of sort of gets lost easily, and people sometimes they have ADD or a whatever, and they kind of like go squirrel, and he's like that. He does pretty good though when I try to I rein him in, and he's usually on time. Actually, he's usually the one that's saying, "Hey, are you ready to do this?" All right. So I click the link. Be waiting for you.
Yeah, it's a big difference from the first show or the second or third time I appeared.
Have you seen any of these shows that we've done this year or over the past year on the YouTube channel?
I've caught a little bit of them, but since most of my internet is done through the phone anymore, I don't get a chance to keep up regularly like I used to.
Well, hello, there you are again. This is William Todd Rose. He's an author. Very cool. I've had him on a couple of times before, and he writes in Zompak. Hi, William. How are you?
Hi, Jackie. I'm doing good. Can you hear me okay this time?
I can hear you and see you and everything. Amazing. Thank you so much.
Oh, awesome.
Go ahead and there's my dead door. Hi. Well, there. I think I need super glue for him or something. Go ahead and tell the folks, William, what your experience is about, with Zombiepalooza Radio and what kinds of things that you offer your fan base.
Well, the first time I was on Zombiepalooza was back when you still had the call-in show. It was actually one of your first shows. I think I was like your second or third guest on there.
Wow.
Scheduled for that. Yeah, it was that
was a while back.
I remember I was helping you with I was designing some graphics to help to promote the show. I had that one of Bub from Day of the Dead with the earphones on his ears.
Yeah.
As far as my writing, most of what I write tends to be a blend of horror and science fiction. There's a lot, of course, dystopian and apocalyptic themes. Those are favorites of mine.
Well, there's Dead Door. Are you glued in? Or do I have to go chase you?
I'm very glued in.
Awesome. Well, hello. How are you?
I'm good. I had to duct tape wires and all that. Good evening. How is everyone?
Doing good. How are you, Dead Door?
On or off or anything like that. Oh no.
Check him out.
Oh. All right, Crunchy, you gotta go.
Dead
Get
Door,
that
you're
camera off
looking.
me.
You're looking almost as fresh as you did for about 3 years ago. Dead Door was added to Zombiepalooza Radio about 3 years ago. He has a friend of his who is an actor, and I brought his friend on, and he seemed to do really well. And then he told me about Dead Door, but he said that I had to go and see if I could track him down and bring him to the show. And that was a thing all in itself. Dead Door, tell people, what your part is on Zombiepalooza Radio and what you think of the past 3 years you've been on.
Past 3 years? Been working now. Oh my God, it's been like a roller coaster, up and down, loops, turns. All the different guests that we've had. Awesome.
Who's been your yeah.
Tom Savini.
That was cool. Do you remember where he called in from?
Oh, I think he was watching a movie out in the woods. In a tent.
In the middle of the night. Yep.
In the middle of the night. That was crazy.
That was crazy. So Dead Door, I don't think William has seen you before. What do you think of Dead Door now that you can see him, William?
I think he's looking really dead, really cool. I've seen him before from like watching the show, but yeah, of course, he wasn't part of it the last time I was actually a guest on the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty
No,
cool. All
I
right.
see Crunchy's flipping switches back there, and he switched my camera on.
I see that. I see Crunchy's trying to be funny over there.
Yep. I'll get him later.
So William, you were saying before Dead Door came in, the different kinds of things that your fan base has seen from you. So what are some of the books that you've done, and what is your latest?
My latest that is actually out right now is a bundle of 2 novellas, Crossfades and Bleedovers. Those are they heavy on the science fiction, but still with the horror. It involves like a guy who has a very unusual job where he astral projects into the world of the dead to help guide lost souls into the afterlife. So those are my most recent. I also have several zombie apocalypse books. There's The Dead and Dying, The 7 Habits of Highly Infective People, and Sex in the Time of Zombies. There's also Apocalyptic Organ Grinder, which isn't zombie-based, but is set in about 150 years after the collapse of society. Soon I have a work that's kind of unlike anything I've done before called Pennyweight, and in my other works, I have like literally destroyed the world countless times. And this one was kind of fun because it really gave me the chance to create an entirely new world from the ground up. So that was really interesting, and I'm really excited to get that out there and put it in the hands of readers.
What is your opinion of shows that are like this, or have you run into, because I know that you've done interviews on multiple channels, have you ever run into anything quite like this show?
Not quite like this. I mean, I've done some stuff for podcasts before, but it was never like a live talk show type of situation. The first call in, or like the now video show that I have actually ever been a part of.
What do you think that people would find of value if they were a creative and they'd never done anything like this before? What do you think that they would get from it?
What I like about listening to the past shows, especially since you went to the video format, is a lot of the questions you've asked the authors really requires them to think and be on their feet, and I think that's good. I think that challenging people about their craft and challenging them to like express their personal views and to think of maybe things that they haven't thought of before. I think that is valuable, not just in writing but in life itself.
Very cool. All right, so let me think here. What are some things that we haven't covered that you would like to see?
See, I'm gonna be honest. I mean, I haven't watched every show. I've watched some when I can.
All right, that's a lot of material. I wouldn't expect that, but from what you have seen, or what you've seen on the Facebook pages, is there something that we have yet to cover, or would you like to see more of something that we haven't covered as much?
I really like it when you have filmmakers on. I'm kind of like a film buff, so that's always a treat. So I'm also I really like dark, like artists, painters, and there's a lot of great talent out there in the macabre arts. And I'm not sure if you've ever had any actual photographers on to talk about their work, but there's a lot of really great stuff out there.
Thank you very much for that. All right, so what we do on Zombiepalooza Radio, a lot of times people get stuck on the name itself, and they don't really give it much more of a thought, except that, oh, there's going to be a bunch of zombies on, and no offense, Dead Door over there. Oh, we only have one zombie on this show. But what we do is we take everything from concept to post-production, having to do with film and writing, screenplays, books, different kinds of projects that people have. And I'm getting a lot of weird feedback. Dead Door, is that coming from me? Dead Door. It's not. I wonder if it's coming from William's side. Can you, William? Can you mute your mic for a second? Let's see.
Yes.
Up at the top, I need to see where that's coming from.
He's got a really good mic.
Yes, he does. Picks up everything. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
We know that it's William, but that's okay. So a lot of the stuff that we bring on is not only in Zompoc, but it's also in horror too. And we really tried to be able to get every facet of the industry that we possibly can think of. We're always taking looks at new pieces, especially within film. And we've had musicians on also, because it's important to have the soundtrack and things of that sort. We have had a number of artists that, like Tim Proctor, he came on. He is a very amazing artist who works with like apocalyptic themes, but he also does other things. And gosh, there are Dead Door. You got a better memory than me. Who are some of the other people that we've had on? Johnny Blades, he made me an amazing necklace. It has a headphone and a little mic on there. It's very cool. Johnny Blades is a creative textile creative. He makes different kinds of necklaces. He also makes little vampire boxes and all kinds of stuff.
Oh, he's got a whole line of necklaces and stuff like that. And one we
Amazing.
cannot ever forget for these 4 years, Zombie.
Yes. Waze Crankfield is now known as Zombie. He's been very, very busy lately, but oh my goodness, some of the music that man cranks out is really amazing. So, DD, we've had William on before. He's talked a lot about his Zombie is the man. Yeah, Rick Germain. We recently had Rick Germain on, and he is a talented drummer. He also loves film work, which is really cool. I had him on for a panel not that long ago, and we really had a great time. All right, I'm going to go over to Doug Kaufman, who I just recently met within the last 3 months, and tell the people where I met you and what you were doing.
We met at Horror Hotel in June, I believe. At the time, I was basically there just to accept my awards for 3 screenplays I wrote and, interact with everybody. And Christina said, oh, you're looking for people to interview. You're looking for people to interview. Well, at the time I was promoting my zombie short. And so, of course, yes, I'm all in. No problem. I'll promote it. Yes. And that's where we took off. And I've done, I think this is my 4th show since June. I've been on a while, and I really, really, really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Talk to us. Thank you very much. Talk to us about what your experiences have been on the show and what it is that you came back from after you did the first one initially.
Well, my experiences have been pretty up and down lately, but as of probably within the last month, things have been on a skyrocket high. I cannot believe it. But back in June, I was looking to start up, a zombie short. Won an award. A bunch of guys and myself were looking to turn this into something, and we got Genevieve Rossi involved, as our quote star, because you always have to have at least one star in a film. People recognize and all that. And things were looking okay, but then the bottom dropped out. Our cinematographer decided that he didn't want to call us back or write us an email back or none of that. Well, without a cinematographer, of course, you have no film. I'm like, okay, right. Fine. Bottom's dropping out. And then there was a killing that happened right across the street from where I live. And one of the guys that was going to be in the zombie short was the shooter, and he killed the guy that another character was based off of, and his cousin, the shooter's cousin, was going to play that character. Oh my God! I've lost half my third of my cast. I've lost my shooting location. Things are just really crazy. I can't handle it. I almost went through a nervous breakdown. Ended up writing a short for a buddy of mine, because I wanted revenge in some way, shape, or form. And of course, my creative mind, I just wanted to write. I needed to get this out. After 2 or 3 months of seeing the victim everywhere I went, I'll be in the bathroom and he's in the door talking to me. I couldn't get away from him. So after I wrote it out and turned it into like a revenge kind of plot, I sent it off to a buddy of mine. His name is Kevin Forte over at Forte Films Entertainment. And the story that I wrote fit more along the lines of what he does. What he does with it is up to him. I just needed to write it. That's all I needed out of it. I am not looking to make this into a movie or a short in any way, shape, or form. What he does, it's up to him. Thank you, Kevin, for giving me the opportunity to write a storyline for you guys, but it's in your hands. Do with it. Just give me writing credit if you do something with it. And then changed direction and went with a full feature that I wrote and was one of the award-winning scripts over at Horror Hotel. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, out of the woodwork, I'm working with a lot of contemporary and retro horror stars. I'm just going to pull up the website just to give a small list. Let's see. Melissa Heflin, Jason Killingensmith, Lynn Lowry, Jessica Felice, Genevieve Rossi, Michael Berryman, Timothy Quill, KJ Hopkins, Melantha Blackburn, Rick Germain, Bob Soshi, my mother, Sandy Kaufman, Bernard Adams, Robert Youngren, Michael Scarabassi, Emily Kelly, Victoria Mullen, Bill Oberst Jr., Jason Hull, Rich Godieri, Tavis Markham, Jason McAllister, and Bryant McLean. So it's got a complete mix of horror genres covered. And I cannot wait to start filming this thing in June. It's called Twin Carnation, and it's going to be the bomb in 2017 when this comes out. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. And
what do you think about this?
About Zombiepalooza?
Well, yeah. Initially my question to you. Well,
I think that was a two-part question. I had to lead into it, of course. But what I think about Zombiepalooza is it's a great platform for getting people together. You're actually responsible for getting 3 people part of our project, and I want to personally thank you for that.
Oh, that's sweet. Thank you very much.
I was part of the discussion when you had Mel Heflin, Saba, and a whole bunch of others, and I was looking at Mel going, "Oh my God."
She's gorgeous, isn't she?
Well, it's not. It wasn't the gorgeous part that I'm looking at. I'm just looking at how she looks and the story that I created. I'm imagining the lead female character. And I'm like, yes, I just found her right there, right there. I immediately friended her, and within a half an hour after she accepted my friend invite, I sent her the script. I was like, I want you for this. Yeah, I want you. And she of course agreed to that. And then on the panel, I got Rick Germain and Keith Munden from Legacy Verse coming in on the project. So you got all of us together. Thank you.
I appreciate that. One of the things that we have that we intended a couple of years back was a real hard push for getting people to network through this show. On our Facebook page, we have 2 pages. One is just Zombiepalooza Radio, and no action happens on there. I don't upload anything. It's one of our original pages, and Facebook won't let us close it. So the real action happens over on Zombiepalooza Radio Live, which is our Facebook page where we get all the postings and a lot of stuff from The Walking Dead and things of that sort. But it helps you keep up on the people that have been on the show and the different kinds of things that they do. So I don't allow anyone to be able to post on that page unless they've actually been on the show. That helps so that we can keep away people that are just dropping stuff off and expecting that we're gonna. Oh man, one of the things that really pisses me off is that people come in and they drop stuff and like, oh well, this page name is Zombiepalooza. Well, it must be on about zombies, so let me drop my whatever here. And that may work in your house, but in my house, that's not how you do. You ask first. And I've also had some people that have tried to put other projects outside of the venues that we normally have on the show. And one of the things that's really important to do, especially when you're trying to get a project out, is to make sure that where you're trying to go is exactly what you need, because if it isn't, that's going to be pointless and you're just going to end up pissing people off.
Yep.
So that PSA announcement for folks that don't know. The other part of it is
definitely don't want to piss us off because we've got a horde behind us.
Yeah, there's lots of. Sometimes we've run into a couple of situations where things have gotten really kind of bizarre, and I have had an amazing amount of people come in and say, "You can't do that here. That's not how we do."
No.
All right, so I'd like to go over to William and have him talk a little bit about the importance of networking and getting the word out in different kinds of venues, not just on Facebook, because that's not the only place people exist. Go. You have to unmute. Go up to the top of the screen, and there you go. Yay!
Okay, that's better.
Yeah, I can hear you.
But really the biggest challenge, I think, is getting the word out, because you can make the best film in existence, you can write the best book that's ever been written, and if people don't know it's there, they just won't read it, they won't see it. So that is a challenge I think a lot of especially independent authors and filmmakers and musicians face. The thing is that people are so savvy these days that they realize when you are just feeding them spam.
Right.
It's just to connect with people. It's like I am very active member on zombiefiend.com, and that place is more like a family. And
talk about Joy Killar and Zombie Fiend and the importance of networking and the different kinds of things that can help each other with projects and just a feeling of camaraderie.
Yeah, it's like, for example, there's one of our fiends, J.R. Jackson, one of the most excellent zombie authors you will want to read. And he like constantly, gives other members, like technical advice about weapons, about the military. He has a lot of experience with survival. And everyone there is just so, connect and to help in any way they can. And it really is like a family. And I think that that's important. That, builds, when you are particularly an artist, a lot of times, what you do can be a really solitary solo thing. You're sitting in front of your keyboard, you're writing. To have that connection, to have feedback, to, another pair of eyes on an idea or, something that you've wrote. And that I really think is the key right there. It's just is like social media sites, but connecting with the people who are your fan base, who are your readers. They're not just a dollar in your pocket, but they support you, and that's important to you. And to like let them know that you do appreciate it. And I think a lot of people overlook that human connection in the art they produce.
I'm still trying to bring other people in. So when you go over to Zombie Fiend, what are some of the things other than the people that are very much, they think a lot alike? What other kinds of things can you find there? Like, advice, or what does she offer there on Zombie Fiend?
Well, basically, it's not so much what the site offers, it's what the community in the site offers. Of course, Joy Killer created the site, but member driven. Like any member, can post a discussion about any topic they want and start getting feedback. And yeah, we are a lot of like-minded individuals there, but what is interesting about that is even though we're like-minded individuals, we all have varying perspectives. And so even though we have common interests, you can still learn a lot about other things which may not have occurred to you. Find there's a really, really cool, it's called the Wolf Pack, and it's a thing where you go into it, you create your character immersed in this post-apocalyptic zombie infested world, and it doesn't take a whole lot of even really great writing skills. You can post maybe one or two sentences from your character to help move the story forward, and that is really cool because that challenges you yourself as an author. When I'm posting on the Wolf Pack, I might have a particular storyline I have in mind. I'll be writing my part, but then one of our other pack members might come along and add something to the story which takes it in an entirely different direction, and so you constantly have to rethink, okay, I can't go that direction anymore, this way. And we have, the Wolf Pack members are from all around the world. We have ones which don't even speak English. They shout out to Dutchie, Uber Fiend, our Wolf Pack member with the brass knuckles. But it's
cool.
But
when you get to meet these people that come from all over the globe, because the organization is pretty large, the idea that there are so many out there that really care about each other and really care about trying to make sure that if in fact there is something that happens that's nasty, that there's a way to be able to deal with it and you're not just left out in the cold.
Exactly. That's one of the, well, it's one of the tenets of Zombie Fiend, is that basically fiends look out for other fiends. I mean, there are people on that site who I know that worst case scenario, something like horrible happened and to crash on for a night, and they were, I was in their area, they'd be like, sure, do it. Cool.
Right. There's not too many people that you can do that with. I know that my husband, when he first started the group of people that he was originally talking with 4 years ago, there was, I think, 6 of them. And out of those 6, I think he still talks to every single one of them, which is really kind of wild and crazy in my mind there, because I've seen a lot of people that have been on this show that I thought would never leave and that everything would be fine. And boy, was I wrong. We've had people try to get the show shut down. We've had people try to sue me. We've had people get really ugly, stupid because they went prima donna. I had one lady who came on, and the night before I was doing, I did her pre-interview the night before, and she was fine. Even got to talk to her dad and the whole everything. And then she come on, she's late, really, really late, and so I had to bring somebody in on the fly, which I'm ever so grateful for to have a core number of people that if I need help to fill a spot at the last minute, they're there. And a lot of times we can't do this show without having that. So she finally gets on and we're talking with her. And then I asked her a question about how she creates her characters. And she went bananas on me. She goes, they're not characters, they're people. And I'm like, okay, so what do you base the people on? Well, they're not really real. It kind of went downhill from there. So I'm going to ask, do you remember that, Dee Dee?
Oh, I so remember that. I was dying over here.
How
like
to...
real dying.
Yeah, for real dying. Like, oh my God, I can't believe that this is going this way. And we do a lot to be able to screen people before they come on. Part of the reason why we do the screen test is to see how they sound, live, so to speak, although the screen test never goes out on air. It's just for me to basically see how they answer questions and if they're nervous or if they're very comfortable, and to find out some of the things that are really important to them. One of the things that is really important about this show is that we care about the creative, not so much necessarily about what they create, but their drive and their passion for what they do. And so I can hear somebody's got my show on in the background and I can hear it. It's messing with my headset.
Nothing here this time.
Yeah, I don't know where it's coming from then. So what we like to do is we like to bring out what the creative is about in their perspective. And Williams was talking about Zombie Fiend and the different kinds of perspective that come to that particular project. So talk a little bit more about perspective and what it means to you as a creative when you actually write.
Well, when I write, if you only write from your own perspective all the time, then eventually everything you write is gonna start sounding the same. It's very important, I think, to put yourself into other people's shoes, to, try to see the world through, their eyes. I mean, there's a popular rule among writers of write what you know. Degree, I agree with that. But if that rule is as important as it's touted to be. Writers wouldn't have to spend so much time doing all this research. All their characters would be, bankers or janitors or whatever their day jobs are, whatever they know. It would be, it'd just be with that. So it's important, I think, to stretch your imagination a bit. Try to, think, what must it be like to be this, down and out, crackhead on Skid Row.
Well, I think that you don't do what we would call, like for an actor, method acting, when they actually get into the character and they do whatever the character is doing in real life. You don't necessarily do that, at least I hope not, but what do you do to be able to draw yourself into what that character is feeling and thinking? How do you immerse yourself into that so that you can write it from a true perspective of that individual?
Well, one thing is to be observant, to watch the type of character you're writing about. I think watching is often more important than listening, because people talk, they will have an agenda.
Right.
Their actions, body languages will contradict what's coming out of their mouths. And it's the little details that really you who a person is, how they sit in their chair, how they, react when, someone criticizes them. And if you just look at this, not just as an observer, but if you look at it with empathy, I think that is the key there, is you have to, try to empathize around you. That's what makes it easier to, write from a perspective that might not necessarily be your own, because you can imagine, if this happened, this is how I would feel. So of course, you still get your own experiences coming into it. You are in a degree still writing what you know, but you are coming from an entirely different viewpoint. Oh, looks like I lost Jackie.
Okay, that's unusual.
Still there, Dan Dort?
Yeah, I'm here. I just had to unmute. Yeah. Wow. It's rare to lose the host of the show, but she does. She just got it done. Oh.
You can get her back, I hope.
Hopefully she can use the link that she started to get back in here and continue, because we're still going live.
Sorry,
there she is.
Oh, and
booted myself out.
How did that happen?
I was clicking on some people are writing to me as we're chatting, and I'm not really used to doing the writing and the thing and all of that thing, and I hit on the thing and boom, there it went. It's not one of the things I like about being able to do it on the YouTube channel, Hangouts, all of that, is that if I do that, I can just copy the link and put it back in, and I can click join call, and I'm all good. But
cool.
let me tell you, that first time I did that, Dead Door, tell him what happened. That first time I did that, I was so nervous. Yeah.
I thought she was going to go bald because she was pulling out her hair.
I couldn't think of how to get myself back into my own show. And it took me, oh boy, this brings me back memories for when we first started doing the show on Z Talk Radio. We have a server, we had a server that we were supposed to log into. And if the people before your show didn't log out of it, you had to go track them down, tell them to log out of it so that you could log into it, which was a big major pain in the you-know-what. So
there's no way.
No, it was just a pain. For the most part, though, we were able to, come and go as we needed to. But then that's part of the reason why I moved to live stream. Live stream was okay, but in the beginning, I didn't want nothing to do with it. I'm like, no, I'm not putting my the authors, boy, I know what that feeling is like of being behind the scenes and not having anything on you. And I told Dead Door, I said, there's no way in hell I'm going to do this thing with the camera pointed at me. No, it's not happening. DG, how long did it take you?
Oh my God! It took me.
How long did it take you to get me to say? Yeah, I was like, I was terrified. I mean, some of these people that come onto the show, I know they're nervous and they're like scared to death for doing it. And I'm like, oh, I get you. I completely and totally understand what that feels like. So here, let me help you. Now, when they were coming on, and with the live stream, there was only one camera. So it was just on me. And I mean, you could hear the people talking, but you could not see their face. And so most of them were cool with that. Or like, yeah, I can do this. And then we did live stream. How long did we do live stream for? Dee?
I'm trying to think. Almost a year, I think.
So about a year and maybe a year and a half. But toward the end of that, we started doing both the live stream and the YouTube channel at the same time. And that worked for about 4 or 5 months. And then well, I know that what is she doing over there? Are you having to board your house up?
It sounds like someone's destroying something.
There are zombies coming.
They're busting through the walls.
Headquarters, we have to board up the windows and doors every night to, safety first.
Well, you got to do what you got to do. So we're like trying to figure out how to make things better. And so Dead Door's like, hey, we should try this YouTube thing. So what did I tell you about the YouTube thing?
No, I don't want to. No. It was like pulling teeth from a cat.
It was bad.
In water.
I'm like, no, there's no way in hell I'm doing this. Nope, don't want to do it. He goes, well, you've already went through the hard part of being, with having the camera on your face for the live stream. So the YouTube's not going to be really much different. But here's the thing. I've got other dynamics that I have to bring in. And now I've got more cameras. And then I've got people that are like, I don't know if we can do this or not because my face is going to be seen. And that terrified a whole bunch of people. I know how it feels, and and I get that. One of the things too that some of the past guests have said is that it's not really like having an interview; it's more like having a conversation.
Yeah.
You want to go in? You want to talk about that a little bit, Doug?
Well, for the most part, I can agree with that statement. I mean, look at the first time we had the panel with London and Richter Main, and there was PMS guy, Nathan Ludwig.
Yes. PMS guy.
Well, that's the name of his movie.
PMS guy.
I'm looking right at his post. I just happen to be looking right at his poster. Yeah, I rearranged
What's
the room.
The name? Doug.
Premenstrual.
Over here, Doug.
Well, I got to look that
what's the name of it?
Premenstrual teen syndrome. I'm trying to read the poster over that way.
It's a film.
Yeah. So I just found the PMS guy.
Too, but it's a thing, but it's a film. And actually, Nathan Ludwig is.
He's a very good friend of ours. Yeah, we could joke around with him like that.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Mr. Rose, this is by request. This is by request.
Uh-oh.
One of your fans.
Okay. Fans wants me to smoke my pipe.
Yep. One of your fans does want you to smoke a pipe.
So I do what my fans want. So
I just got a message from a fan.
So carry on. I'm sorry.
No problem.
Put the pipe in your mouth. What kind of pipe is it?
Mr. Rose.
Yeah. That. Well, okay.
What kind of pipe is it? All right, that's good.
Yeah. Fork and roll.
Oh, It's a Sherlock Holmes pipe.
That's cool. I like that.
Elementary, my dear dead door.
Poor my buddy Kevin Ranson has been trying to get into this show for the past at least 40 minutes. He tried to get on with his iPad.
Oh,
and
man. We feel for you, dude.
Wasn't cooperating, and then now he's trying to sign in.
Elementary, I do that.
Now he's trying to sign in through his laptop, so I'm hoping that he can make it before this whole thing crashes. So William, how long have you smoked your pipe, and do you have any characters that you have written about that happen to smoke a pipe?
I've smoked a pipe for probably going on 10, 12 years now. I smoked, cigarettes as well, but I really, really like my pipe. For a while, I was smoking my pipe exclusively. Any characters who have smoked a tobacco pipe, but my zombie apocalypse protagonist is Bosley Coughlin smoked a lot of other pipes.
We'll just leave it at that. Believe me, I know.
Are you cold over there, William? Because you got your scarf on and your jacket and the whole.
In the Great White North, waiting for another well to roll up on the beach, and I get some blubber for the coming winter. So it's a rough life here.
Tough life.
2 weeks for the postal ship to arrive, and it's just crazy.
Wow.
Totally worth it, though.
It's cool, though, right? You like that?
Oh, yeah. Love it here.
Yeah. She's in the background going, oh, my God, what a line of crack. Yeah, but he can sell it, baby, because he's got that pipe in his mouth. So, Dead Door, what do you think about this experience of being picked as a #1 co-host for Zombiepalooza Radio and all of the craziness that you've run into?
Wait, first off, I guess I was picked. I was kind of forced into it by Bacon and Lasso. And
right, I hear Bacon.
He threatened to rip my arms off, and okay, I'll go. I think it's awesome. I love it. I have such a blast doing this with you, Jackie. It's an honor that you picked me out of thousands and hundreds of horde zombies out there.
I had a number of people that actually tried to fill the co-host chair. Had one guy that had been doing radio for 15, 20 years, okay? And he's like, I got this no problem. I know what I'm doing. And he comes on and he's just deadpan. He thinks he's funny, but if you've ever been around somebody who thinks they're funny and they're really not funny, it's dreadful to listen to.
Yeah, I've been there and done that many times. Unfortunately, in my former field, being the computer field, you get quite a few of those people. I feel you.
Yeah, so I'm like, I tried him, and I was like, well, maybe it was just because he was nervous. So I brought him on a couple of more times. I'm like, no, this isn't working. He got upset because he told me he basically thought I didn't know what I was doing because I was throwing away basically a national treasure by kicking him to the curb. And I wasn't really kicking him to the curb. I told him, I said, I don't really think that this particular outlet is best used for what your talents are. And that was the most democratic way I could think of telling him that I don't think that we could do this anymore. Sometimes it can be quite democratic. Sometimes not so much. When I get people on that that talk very arrogantly about their genre and what people will read, and of course it's because of who they are that they'll read whatever they put out there. Or I like the ones that try to say that they can mix different kinds of genres together, and it doesn't matter because it's all fiction.
That doesn't always work that way.
it really doesn't, because people, as William was talking about earlier, they're pretty precocious, and they want to be able to be entertained, and they don't want to be handed a line of guff, because they'll look at that and they'll go, well, this isn't the way any of this should be, and I don't understand none of it, and there's no explanation for it. What do you think about that, William?
I have to agree with that. I mean, if you aren't in it for the right reasons, and if you don't really love what you do, people will see right through that. You can tell the writers who actually have a passion for their work, and then the ones who are just like, okay, well, maybe this is a way I can turn a quick buck. Through in the words every time.
I had some people on who wrote in paranormal, and I usually, when I bring people on, I don't discuss my background. I go, as much as what I'll say is, you know, take a look at some of the past shows, see, to get a feel of what we do, and that's basically how I do things, especially if I have had a long period of time that I've been talking with them. And so my background, where I started writing and where I started doing radio to begin with, was in paranormal. And I have a pretty extensive background in this. And this lady, she came on and she's talking about writing in paranormal. I'm like, okay, that's cool. So how did you come about writing in this particular genre? What was it that sparked it for you? Oh, I watched a television show about paranormal something or other, and I thought it was really cool. And I was like, okay, so I let her go on a little bit more. And she started talking about things that I happen to know a lot about, but I didn't let on. I didn't tell her anything about it until she got to a certain point where she started sounding like she was the know-it-all of the whole particular subject matter, simply because she watched the television show.
And she doesn't know jack.
No. What do you think? Why is it so important to know what you're talking about and the perspective that you're bringing? Why is that so important to have, William?
I'm sorry, Jackie. I had some really bad lag there, and you sounded super robotic, and I couldn't understand the question.
I'm sorry. Okay, so when you go to write, I also have a bunch of people talking to me. I'm sorry. When you go to write about a particular subject,
That's okay.
why is it important to not so much cross the genre, but if you're going to cross the genre, why is it really important to really have a pretty good feel of what that other genre is?
Because it has to feel realistic to the reader.
Yes.
That's what it boils down to. I mean, the quickest way to lose a reader is to just make it feel flat. To make it, I mean, no one wants to read something that has no fire behind it. How's that supposed to keep anyone's attention? And genre that you love. Like I'd mentioned that, you know, I cross a lot science fiction and horror. I think that those cross really well together. But beyond that, I have a passion for both of those genres. So that's why they cross well for me. I will see like a lot of like articles of 6 months to a year, the big trend is going to be witches. Everyone start writing witches, and I just kind of have to shake my damn head at those.
Right.
It's just like,
when they all right, so we talk a lot about something called tropes. Go ahead, William, and tell people what a trope is.
Trope is basically more or less the same as a cliche. It's something you have seen so many times, done so many times that it is predictable.
In in some genres, so the word trope means that you have particular things that you will probably always find within that genre. It's it all depends on how the creative person goes about putting their twist on it, that kind of thing.
Well, that is true. That's true as well.
Right.
And that's the key right there, is the twist you put on it. I mean, like, you know, the zombie apocalypse genre, you're pretty much always going to have the, you know, fall of society.
Right.
But it's how you handle that broad subject matter. As you said, your own twist that you put on it.
Right.
Whether, you know, it's intelligent zombies, or, you know, like in the case of my book, The 7 Habits, you know, tongue-tied, time-traveling, you know, druggy protagonist who sees things from a different perspective. That keeps it fresh and interesting, in my opinion.
Right. Right. So when they go and they take things from cross genres and they put them together, sometimes you can do it and you can do it really well, but you have to make sure that the two genres are at least compatible, right?
Exactly. And like, I know that some people can cross, like, you know, romance and paranormal. That's not me. I don't have the passion for the romance field. Important there. I think that really you can probably cross any genre, any two genres, if you have a passion about both of those genres. That if you believe it, then your belief can carry over to the reader.
Right.
Just to turn a buck, and like I said before, you know, readers will see through that.
It's gonna fall flat. I've actually seen on some of the Amazon reviews that people will write sometimes some pretty amazingly critical things about a particular work, and they won't always use the tact button. They'll just go out there and they'll just fly out with whatever the heck they got to say about it. There are though other times when I see something and I'm like, yeah, that they really captured everything that was in the genres, and that it melded well, and they want to see more of it. What is one of your more popular books that your fans really like?
Apocalyptic Organ Grinder seems to be pretty popular, as well as my Crossfades and Bleed Over series. They're part of the Realms of the Dead series of novellas. Those are actually two of the ones that I get the biggest response from my readers from.
What is one of the things that they feel you have a really good connection with, whether it be character base or environmental base or research base?
The main things I hear back is character development and world building, and to me, that's the basis of your story. I mean, the people and the situation, that's what drives the story. So it always really pleases me when I I get that type of feedback, because those things are important to me. It's like Grinder, it is set about 150 years after the fall of civilization. Two different factions who are pitted against each other. And when I was writing it, I didn't really want the traditional, good guy, bad guy role. Mm-hmm. So as an author, I used a very neutral voice between the two. I showed the good and the bad for both sides, let readers draw their own conclusions. And that what I think is what really seems to resound with people in that book, is that it presents
we talk a lot about the added individual that belongs within the piece, and that would be the one that is actually reading or viewing the work. There is that, if it's done right, there's this really great symbiosis that works between the person that's observing what you produced and what you have to give them. There also is, from what I've been getting from a lot of people, especially recently, this really important need to not spoon feed them, to be able to give them some, but don't give them everything, because if you do that, they tend to get put off by that.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. I mean, I'm not going to name any specific names or publishing companies, but I had some experiences with one publishing company where when they were editing my manuscript, they said, no, you have to dumb this down. You dumb this down. And I don't know, that was just an insulting concept to me. I don't want to insult my readers by, like taking what I'm writing and putting it, as this editor suggested, on a 4th grade level. I'm not writing for 4th graders. I'm writing for adults.
So when you go and you use your dialogue and you bring your situation to light, do you enjoy using methods to be able to help, maybe not force the person to think, but to give them a reason to go look stuff up, or to make them feel like they actually fit in because of the environment that you are showing them?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I try to context. If you have people get context, if you have it in context, you don't have to, like dumb it down and spell it out. People can figure stuff out. I mean, as stupid as a lot of people seem to think they are. And I mean, that's the truth. A lot of people think that society as a whole is comprised of very stupid people, but they're not. And just because you don't know a particular word does not make you stupid. If it's put in context, you can figure it out. I mean, if you read A Clockwork Orange,
Mm-hmm.
he made up his own, basically his own slang, his own language. William Gibson does the same thing in his earlier books like Neuromancer. Do it in such a way that even though these are totally unfamiliar terms, you get what they're saying. So it's all in how the writer handles it. You don't have to turn it into a see dick run dick run.
Yeah, I know. Doug, what do you think about that?
Sorry, I was muted there.
Go ahead.
I agree with him 100%. You're writing for, in his case, you're writing books for adults. I'm writing movies for adults. Yes, what I'm writing to Incarnation, the stars are really the kids, but the situations I put them in and the words and actions and everything, I want the audience to watch it, and when they're watching it going, what the heck did I just see? There's no way you would expect 2 7-year-olds doing 90% of what you're going to end up seeing. You would expect that from a 25-year-old or 40-year-old or whatever, but you wouldn't expect it from a 7-year-old. And how they play with the mother, their mother, in the mind, it's a real trip, like an emotional roller coaster they put her on. She thinks she's okay, and then something happens. She thinks she's okay, something happens, and she absolutely goes bonkers. So it's more of a psychological thriller between, the kids and the mom than anything. But, I don't think we'll go too much further into that right now.
All right, so I'm still, Kevin's still trying to get on, and he's having a difficult time in doing that.
Excuse me.
Apparently, Apple does not like Google Hangouts and or Chrome or anything like that, so phooey on Apple. Yeah.
Well, Phil Elam got in fine last time, no problem. I don't know. And he was on an iPad.
Yeah, and well, my buddy Kevin has an iPad, but it was not cooperating at all, which is part of the reason why we try to do these sound checks before show. But in an instance like this, you know, when you're putting things together, at the last minute, because I didn't even think that I was actually going to do a show tonight. I guess maybe this is a really good segue for this. I bust my ass bringing this show in, and I've been doing it now for about 4 years. Can't even say about now, it's been 4 years. And I have worked with some really amazing people. I've worked with some people that I would not soon pee on if they were on fire. And that doesn't happen too often, but every once in a while it does, because, you know, there's always that 10% in the bunch that's going to try and do something really stupid.
Yeah.
And then I have people that are extremely persistent, and they're very excited about what they create, and they'll bend over backwards, and they will do whatever they have to do to be able to get on this thing. And for them, it's part of the reason why I do this. This evening, the reason why this show is even on right now is because of William Todd Rose, right there, front and center. He came to me and he says, "What do you need done?" And at that point, you had no idea, but I was about ready to bust in tears, because I'm thinking, I put out a shout out for this show that for our anniversary show quite some time ago, and hardly had any response. And so I wrote on my wall this evening something to the effect of, you know, I don't get why, you know, if I have people and they say, "Hey, I have a time slot that I need filled, do you have something you can bring?" And or if they have something that, you know, they're doing like a film or a book or a zombie run or something like that, they're like, "Hey, can you come and bring me on?" Yeah, for the most part, we bring you on, especially if we like what you have. But then when it comes time for people to say thanks for having a show like this and doing what you do, the response is not very good. And I put something up also on my wall, and I'm like, you know, if this is the way this is going to go, and I'm not going to be able to get people to be able to come on to just say, "Hey, thanks for what you do." You know, I don't want to pimp something I got right now, but I just want to come in and say thanks. You know, that's why a lot of people get really bent out of shape, because I don't get paid for doing this. And if people really knew what my background was, some of the things I had to do just to be able to make sure the show was going to be on, especially in the very, very beginning, I would do a show being sick as heck and rack my voice out just to be able to get the show done. And that was when we were on the network, when we first started out. And as of late, I look at it and I go, you know what? I put all these hours in. I've had all of these people on. I think I've paid my dues, basically. People are starting to really recognize the name of the show and all of that. I think that I should not have to get really vocal or shake people up just to get them to do something, just do the right thing. What do you think about that, DD?
DD.
Dead door.
Yeah, I'm here.
What do you think about all of that?
People not showing up and showing appreciation for you.
You too. I mean, look at, you know, look at the stuff that what you have brought to this show is actually really cool. And there is no other show that is like this at all, especially with the way that we have it set up.
No,
I think I'm sorry. I think the key, Jackie, is that you just keep doing what you're doing because it's what you love to do and it's your passion. And negative reviews. Yeah, it hurts, yes, but you do what you do because it's what you love.
that's why I messaged Dead Door, and I told him, I said, all right, so we're actually going to do this. He's like, oh, okay. And I said, yeah, 2 hours to get ready, and we're gonna let this fly at 9 o'clock. I'm really like super excited that we got the people on that we did. My husband, after he's done working at 2 o'clock in the morning, we'll probably watch it right after to see what happened afterwards. But it's when I first started doing this, it was to help him feel more grounded and to get other people with some of their stories. We've had people like Eric Fox on from Face Off, and he came on and he talked about his passion. But then after he was done with the main portion of the interview, he basically let his hair down, so to speak, and he told us what his background story is, and the fact that he really appreciated having a place that he could go and feel like he didn't have to perform, that he could just be himself. Remember that? DD, remember that? Yeah.
Yep, I do remember that.
That show made me
takes
cry.
a minute to kick the wheels in, but yeah, I do remember that one.
We've also had children on the show. There was a little girl, her name was Riley, and Riley was being picked on, bullied, severely bullied at her school. And
Zombies don't like bullies.
no, zombies do
Well,
not
at
like
least
bullies.
this zombie don't like bullies.
No.
So we asked her, I said, what are your 2 favorite shows? And she said she liked The Walking Dead and she liked Face Off. And what did we do for her, Dee?
We brought in Roy Woodley to talk to her.
Roy Woolley?
And see, Jack,
Mhm.
that's the moments you have to focus on, not the things that get you down, the things that build you up. That's what you need to keep your focus on.
Exactly. Even if it's like 1 or 2 guests and the show's only an hour or whatever, if you love doing it, keep doing it.
So what we're planning on doing now is a lot of what we've done so far is one-on-one interviews, and that's nice, and it's good for people to come out, especially if they're new and they've not done this before. As far as an interview live, it's good for them. But I've been finding that more and more people are really liking the idea of having a panel.
Yeah,
And
you could let your hair down
and
a lot more. You could let your hair down a lot easier and a lot more, on a panel.
So, because you've been on, I think 2 panels that we've had on. What did you think about the experience?
Yeah. That's the third. I actually love being a panel. Like I said, you get to let your hair down. You could get to be yourself. Not all eyes are 100% focused on you 100% of the time. You get people going back and forth, and I think that's what makes it easier for people, especially if you're like a first timer or a second timer, doing live interviews. It ends up being, just people talking back and forth about whatever subject, flies off the top of their heads.
Except if you're on Zombiepalooza Radio, we usually keep it pretty.
Well, you know where I'm going with that.
But you're right. I've seen some other shows, and I'm like, this is like romper room. People are talking about not necessarily bubblegum and diapers. They're talking, about stuff they like, but there's no substance. There's no continuity to it at all. It's just a bunch of people talking.
Now, Doug, saying that, going back and watching it as a viewer, do you find it more entertaining watching the panels?
Watching the panels, yes. Being a part of them, yes. So I guess the answer is obviously yes. I know.
William.
I'm kind of like zoned. I'm right now. It's been a very, very crazy week, and it's getting a
All
little
right.
late.
So we're gonna wrap this up in a few minutes. I'm interested in seeing what William has to say about panels. I'm sure you've been on panels at conventions at some point, and or on panels at other places. What do you think about shows like this that are live, that do panels that talk about things that are important to the creative?
I think it's important, and I think it's great because you get an exchange of ideas that way. My very first convention that I attended, I was fortunate enough to be on. It was referred to as the Big Ass Zombie Panel. Trying to remember who I was there. Tonya Brown, Dave Dunwoody, Derek Goodman, Jonathan Mayberry, and about 15 of us in all on that panel. And it was like just top and shop with a bunch of other people, and a great experience. It opened my eyes to new perspectives, and of course there was some spirited debate. You'll get that with panels, but
yes,
ideas need to be challenged. It's what keeps you fresh. It's what keeps your perspective new. If no one ever challenges your ideas, then you're just going to keep seeing things the way you always have, and you'll never grow.
The way that I'm going to be doing the panels, I've done, I used to have a show called Dream Scream Radio where it was just all panel. And what I would do is I would take two people that were well seasoned in whatever the genre or topic we were talking about. Then I'd bring on one or two that were kind of like midway, that have had a number of years of experience, but I know he's going to do that. You can't get in that way. And I know you want to, and I would love to bring you, but you cannot get in that way. The only way that you can get in on this show to actually be on the screen is to be able to click but maybe, hang on. Let me see. I'm going to try one of the, you cannot do that. You can't go through. You cannot go Google Hangouts. And this is a learning experience too.
I thought you got rid of Google Hangouts.
This is my buddy Kevin Ranson. You cannot use the Google Hangouts on your own. You have to use that link. I think what needs to happen now, because he's getting a little closer to being able to be on, I can't. I'm sorry, I can't get you on right now. I would love to, but I have another guy too, Giles Shepard, who is trying to get in, but his bandwidth is not allowing him to do that. All right, so here's what I'm going to do, because it's almost the top of the hour. Is there anything that we haven't talked about this evening that you would like people to know before we actually close up shop? And that question is for William.
Wow. Haven't we talked about? It's kind of different because this has been I've been feeling more like a conversation. So an actual question kind of caught me off guard there for a minute.
Welcome to my nightmare sometimes. Now you know how I feel.
Just as far as self-promoting, you can visit me online at williamtoddrose.com. Also on Facebook, and of course, I don't really care a whole lot for Facebook. I feel like a lot of what I see on Facebook is designed to tear people apart rather than bring them together. So if you really want to connect with me, the best place to find me is on zombiefiend.com. Almost always on there, and always happy to chat with fans and readers.
Very cool. Tell Joy Kalar thank you so much for her help this evening, and my appreciation to you both for being ever so persistent. Thank you. All right, so we're going to go over. you. Thank you. Thank you. We're going to go over to Doug, and I'm going to ask you the same question. Is there anything that you would like folks to know about you before we go?
Well, the only thing I'm promoting right now is Twin Carnation. I mean, it's going to be the next big indie hit, I think. You know, I got a fantastic cast, awesome crew. I got a couple other people that, I know you've been seeing like my announcements and stuff like that. And there's a couple more that are still waiting in the wing that, local people like to Ohio are going to go, oh, wow, you got him too? Well, yes, so we're getting there. We're getting there. Like I said, we'll be doing the filming in June, probably the whole month, and we're going to be taking time off right in the middle of production to go to the Horror Hotel event.
Woo!
Yeah.
HorrorHotel.com. Get over there and take a look at it. That was a really cool experience.
Yeah.
It definitely was. All right, DD.
Well, I think your movie sounds amazing. If you hit me
Thank
up
you.
like after the show, I will help you promote that in any way I can.
Absolutely. I'll give you a private rating. I'll send you the script if you want.
It's awesome.
Okay, that'd be awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. All right, so I'll make sure to get you guys hooked up. I'll do a joint message thing for you. Or
I'm always looking for input. If you see something that doesn't look right, or I don't know about this, or just to say, hey, this is good, or whatever. I'm always welcome for input.
Cool.
Awesome. That's what this show is all about. All right, let's go over to Dead Door William. Dead Door, you know what to do.
Oh, guess we're closing out for the last 4 minutes. Hey, awesome for everybody showing up. Doug, you're looking awesome as always.
Thank you. You too, Dead Door. Always.
Hey, first time, I might come on more on camera. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
It'd
right,
be nice
go
to
ahead.
see your face instead of that little icon.
Yeah, I like that.
All
right.
We'll
So,
see.
all right, guys, go ahead and mute your mics so that Dead Door can wrap this up.
Okay, thank you very much for having me, Jackie.
Thank you very much for being on.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, definitely, William. Thank you for showing up, and thank you for coming
Okay,
on.
mute your mics.
Yep.
Jackie.
All right, Dead Door.
I love
Yes, Dead Door. I love you
you. I
too.
love you. 4 years of doing this. But everybody
Crazy.
out there, have a good night, a good morning, and a good evening.
That's all, folks.
Bye.
Doodles.